Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. How many clients do you onboard a month? 1, 5, 10? And how much time do you spend onboarding that new client? Creating contracts, sending invoices, creating folders, Slack channels, so on and so forth. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I onboard new clients and my automation agency in under 5 seconds. So let's get started. So this is my actual system that I use to onboard my clients here on my automation agency. Of course, that for my onboarding process, I don't have a lot of different steps. Okay, so what I have to do every time that I'm taking a new client is to send an agreement to create a Slack channel, because I have a Slack channel with every client that I work with, so we can kind of better communicate throughout the engagement. And then once the agreement is signed, I create a new subscription on Stripe and send the invoice to the client. Of course, that depending on your onboarding process, you're gonna have to add different steps here to kind of properly onboard a client. So for example, as I mentioned, creating a Google Drive folder, or creating an account, or in a different tool, or anyways, or sending an email, for example. That's very common. Sending a kickoff link so they can book a call with you to kick off the project. So anyway, so each onboarding process will be different, but every onboarding process can be automated. Okay, but I just wanted to show you my actual system. You're gonna see that it's very basic, okay, but it really works. It really saves me time every time that I'm onboarding new clients. So here you can see that I have my CRM on Monday.com, and this is basically like when I change the status of the client, of the lead on the CRM as 1, then it will automatically trigger this automation. I will get that item to get all the data from that client. I will search my client database just to make sure that it's a new client, it's not an existing one, because I'm not gonna send an agreement for an existing client, for example. I check if it's a new client, and then I'm creating the Slack channel here. So you can see that I'm using the company name /automation as the actual name of the Slack channel that I'm creating for the client. So that's the standard name that I use for every Slack channel that I have with the clients. It's a private channel here. Then I invite users. I actually invite a bot that I created. It's actually an app that I created so I can make this API call. Okay, because when you are using make.com for Slack, you don't have an actual module here to invite external users to join your channel. For that, you're gonna need Slack Connect, which is available on the first paid plan on Slack. But anyways, you don't have that option here to invite external users. So that's why I'm making an API call here. And for that, I created an app on Slack. Okay, that can be a separate video. I'm gonna record a separate video, walk you through how you can create a Slack app. But anyways, I'm making this the API call for this endpoint here. It's a GET API, and then I'm inviting that user to the Slack channel that I'm just creating. So that's why I'm having the Slack channel ID here, and I'm inviting the email of that client on the CRM. Okay, so that's why I mapped here as an email. So I'm inviting the client to join the channel, and then I'm sending a basic welcome to X Automation message on the Slack channel for that new client. Okay, and using the same Slack channel ID. Then the second step is to create an agreement. For that, I use PandaDoc. I like PandaDoc because it's simple and it's very kind of flexible in terms of the things that you can automate. You have many different possibilities. So I just use a template that I have for the automation as a service agreement. And on that template, I'm adding the company name, the client email, and the client name, and also my data here, and the fee that I'm charging for the client, which is also on the CRM. So you can see that I'm getting all the data from the CRM, and I'm using that data to create the channel and also to send the agreement. And here you have an option to create a document and to send the document to your client. So I selected yes because I want to send the document over email so the client can sign it. And this is the content of the email, and that's it. Real simple. Okay, and then I am adding that new client to my client database. Because again, as I'm checking here, if it's a new client, I'm definitely gonna need to add that client to the database to avoid duplicates in the future. Okay, that's it for the first step. So you can see here, just as an example here, you have this client, John Doe, company Tesla, john@tesla.co, just a made up email, of course, and it's basically all the data that I need. And let me just kind of add here the the due value. Let's add $500 just as an example. Okay, and then once I change it to 1, this is gonna trigger the automation. You can see that the automation just went by. Okay, it's just running, and it just created the Slack channel and just created the Penadoc agreement. Here is the Penadoc agreement that was just created. You can see the Tesla here. You can see John Doe. You can see John Doe, name of the company. So everything is here ready to be signed. And again, it was sent to the client over email. Once that agreement is signed, then another automation is triggered, okay, to create the subscription on Stripe. To create a subscription on Stripe, it's a little bit more tricky than just creating an invoice. So just walk you through here the second step of the onboarding automation. So I have a webhook here that's watching all the documents and the events of the document. So once the document is completed, I will search for that client on my client database to make sure that I found that client, because I'm gonna need the data from the client to create the invoice. So I find a client, and then I have to create different steps on Stripe in order to create a subscription. So I need to create a customer, and there is already a module for that here on Make. But anyways, in order to create a customer, I need the email and the company name. First, of course, that you can add addresses, for example. Then I need to create a product, and you don't have a module to create a product here on Make, so that's why I'm using an API call. So I'm see here, you can see that I'm using this endpoint here. It's a post, and I just need the name of the product. So I'm using automation as a service. Okay. Then I'm creating the price. So after you create a product, you need to create a price. So I'm using this endpoint here from Stripe. I'm creating the price on USD. The product is this product that I just created. So the price is always related to a product that you create on Stripe. Then the unit amount, and if it's recurring, and the time frame that you need to kind of keep sending the invoices. Okay, so in my case it's monthly. Okay, so the price was created, and then only then I can create a subscription. Okay, so in order to create a subscription, you're gonna see that I need to have the customer ID that was just created here on this module. I need the price that I just created here using this API call, and the collection method is to send the invoice. So I'm not automatically charging that customer because it's a new customer. So I need to send the invoice, and days until due, so 3 days. Okay. And then the last module from Stripe is to actually send the invoice to the client. Okay, so I'm using another API call here to actually send the invoice to the client. So the invoice that was just created here on the subscription, because if you don't add this module here, the subscription will be created and the invoice will be there just waiting for you to send. Okay, so I just send it over email, and then again, as always, I update my client database here with this invoice. Okay, that's basically it. That's how I onboard my new clients, with two very simple automations, two different scenarios here that I use, connecting the tools that I have to connecting the tools that I use to create a new client here on my agency. Okay, did you see how easy it was to onboard the client in under 5 seconds? Do you see how automation can really help you scale and make your operations more efficient? That's the beauty and the goal of automations. Once you add automations to your business, you're going to start saving time right away. So if you need help to build automations for your company, just click on the link down below so we can get on a call and I can show you how automation can help your company scale. Thank you.